Let's start with the facts. Between 50 to 100 million vertebrate animals are used annually for a variety of different scientific purposes. However, as you can see from the graph, 80% of those rodents are usually either mice or rats. From as far back as Aristotle, a Greek scientist from approximately 350 BCE, one can find references of scientific experiments on animals done to gain knowledge of the human body. Vivisection is the term used for scientific experiments which are conducted on living animals. In contrast, dissection is the detailed examination of a dead body or part of a body in order to understand its structure. Vivisection's main uses are in biomedical research or industry testing. Dissection is used mainly for teaching and education. While some biomedical research does not use animals, some questions about how a drug works or how the body functions can only be answered by studying a dynamic system like a living animal. There have been incredible advances to our understanding of disease and major cures discovered because of biomedical research, which almost all involved vivisection. A few of these are highlighted by this timeline of Nobel Prize winners. Industry also uses vivisection. They test a wide range of cosmetic products, including makeup, skin creams, deodorants, shampoos, and more. They even use animals to test household cleaning products, some pesticides, and rarely industrial chemicals. Companies which sell cosmetics are required to test level of skin irritation, eye tissue damage, and overall toxicity. This testing can often cause pain and suffering to the animals involved. Rabbits are often the victims. Companies, however, are not required to do their tests on animals directly, and non-animal testing methods exist and are often more reliable. Europe has banned animal tests in 2009. When will North America follow? Some alternatives to the use of animals include animal body parts from slaughterhouses, such as bovine cornea or chicken eyes, which would otherwise be discarded. Biomembranes and human epithelium grow in tissue culture and can be used to test skin corrosion in household products and very commonly in cosmetics. An example of this is EpiSkin. This is made from a few donated human skin cells mixed with nutrients in a dish. After 3 days, a multi-layered skin grows, which is similar to human skin and can be used for testing cosmetics. Learning with animals ranges from kindergarten all the way to universities and medical school. From dissecting a worm, a pig heart, or conducting scientific experiments, animals are used. But should they? Good alternatives for education include new plastination techniques, pre-dissected specimens preserved in glass blocks, interactive computer models, and science banks. All of these new replacements to dissection and vivisection for learning are reusable and very sustainable. Let's take advantage of them. There is no specific Canadian law protecting animals used for scientific purposes. However, the Criminal Code of Canada protects all animals from cruelty, abuse, and neglect. Animal Animal Health Act protects animals from infectious disease. The problem is, these laws don't apply specifically to vivisection and are sometimes breached. Who checks that the animals are cared for and the experiments are necessary and carried out humanely? Well, the Anti-Vivisection Society is out to get any lab or institution not abiding by the law, or anyone conducting unnecessary experiments. Plus, all labs must be accredited and abide by the standards of the Canadian Council for Animal Care. So, theoretically, the animals should be treated fairly and humanely. The Canadian Council on Animal Care is founded on the 3R principles. Replacement alternatives are methods to replace animals whenever possible, like using a human tissue culture to test cosmetic toxicity. Reduction alternatives are strategies that will use fewer animals or increase the amount of information obtained from each animal. Refinement alternatives are changes made to experiments in order to minimize pain and distress and to improve the welfare of an animal used in science. So to conclude, I think it's a balance, and it all depends on your values. For one, I think that industry and cosmetic testing should be banned. Also, teaching and education, we should revert to alternatives like computer models and plastination. And finally, for biomedical research, I conclude that it should continue. It benefited our knowledge of diseases for so long, and I believe it will continue to do so. Just think, the person sitting beside you could get ill and benefit hugely from our knowledge of medicine, which we have attained because of vivisection. However, I think that we must strictly enforce the 3 R's as we roll into the future. And remember, it's all about learning.